Microphone's on.
All right, today is October the 3rd, 2022. It's a planning commission meeting. We haven't been doing this, but it's on there, so we'll observe a moment of silence. Alrighty, next is a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright, next thing is approval of the, this says the agenda, but it's the approval of the minutes.
No, sir. If you'll approve the agenda for the rest of the meeting, that just makes sure that everyone agrees that this is the agenda, and if you needed to add anything, you'd have that opportunity before you approve the minutes.
Alright. Has everybody had a chance to look over the paperwork here in front of you?
Yes.
If so, I'll make a motion that we approve it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, next is the approval of minutes. I was not present, so I'll have to sustain from voting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright. Got that out of the way. Alright, so the next thing is staff report. Mr. Burton, you have anything?
We had that brief planning commission joint council meeting the other day, and council took your recommendation for annexation of the Waffle House property, passed it first reading. Second reading will be this month, the regular council meeting, and public comment. So that's all I have to report.
Alright, good enough. Anybody have anything they wanna bring to the table before we get started any further?
Not sure if it falls within this purview or not. You may have already been notified that some of the parents of the rec department are got a GoFundMe page to do some upgrades to the
Correct. Yes, sir.
fields. I don't know if that was fall within this or not, or if it mattered, or just
Okay.
if that was okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, all the information sharing's good. So thank you.
Good deal.
Next public input, I don't see anybody present, so we will move ahead. So we have the proposed ordinance here of the abandoned buildings. I'm sure all of you had a chance to read it. It's been a problem for quite some time.
I actually took a picture of two of my neighbors, and I can show you a mobile home that's completely fell in the middle, and then a house that's got shrubbery growing over half of it. So I think it is an issue, definitely.
I've looked over it. I mean, I read it a couple of times. It took me a little while to be able to process it all. But,
Is this standard practice, and is it kind of in line with our surrounding municipalities, or?
It is. I don't know that anybody else in the county has this right now. I know in some of the larger areas, and certainly not to throw the Main Street program under the bus, but a lot of the Main Street program communities are looking at stuff like this as well, just to help keep those spaces, occupied. Number one, yes, to generate revenue, but also, to add something, more to the town.
Sure.
So they'll, kind of encourage people to keep the space occupied and operating.
But we
Um,
would be the first.
As
In the
far as I
county?
know, yes, we'd be
Okay.
the first in the county.
Okay.
Unless there's some other zoning language in some of their ordinances that they have some fines. I believe Westminster has somewhat of it, but probably not to this extent.
I spoke with the zoning official at Seneca, and they do not have this. They were kinda intrigued by it, so they may,
Yeah.
in the future.
I just had a couple of questions I highlighted, like, how will, if this passes, how will the owner or property owners know they need to register a vacant?
The city will have to make contact with everyone. And probably the easiest way is to put something in their tax notice or in their water bill. And that would catch everybody in the city, is to put,
Right.
we can put flyers in those water bills and let them know that, should this pass, there's a registration period.
Now, I didn't see it in here. Is there gonna be a grace period after this? Because it's gonna be a new ordinance.
Correct.
Is that something that we need to place?
Y'all
Or
can
would
recommend.
that be canceled?
You could recommend to council to have a grace period of 3 months, 6 months,
Right.
however
Right.
y'all feels long enough, just so folks, we can, number one, educate everybody,
Sure.
and then, obviously give them an opportunity to register.
Right, okay.
Because I know the police department, the fire department, they try to track folks down, not necessarily on the residential side, but the commercial side, so they'll have a contact information should they be an emergency, but there's nothing that mandates that
Sure.
there's a registry.
So,
So
it's a lot easier with businesses
Yeah.
than it is the residential, but,
it is.
But I saw somewhere there about a financial hardship.
yes,
So
there-
Yes, sir.
would they have to apply for a financial hardship is this like to waive maybe the initial fee, or is that gonna be for?
This would be for the vacant building fee. They might, just for instance, something's in probate and nobody can spend money, just for an example, that this would be something that'd be a hardship, or there's a senior citizen that is in a convalescence care somewhere and just unable to make payment. Obviously, we could take those on case by case basis and help them through that.
I did notice on here, it says Property Maintenance Board. Does that mean Board of Zoning Appeals?
That,
That's
that,
what I was gonna ask.
yeah, that's how it is. That's who it would fall under
Okay.
now. There is some talk, it'd probably be sometime down the road, of an architectural board of review. But this would fall under the BZA, since it would be, quasi judicial matter.
Well, I'm in favor here. I make a motion that we, that we accept this, to send to council, but only on the pretense that we give them I'll say 60-day leadway there. I don't want somebody getting fined right off the bat because we put something in play.
Right.
But I think after, after 2 or 3 months, I feel pretty comfortable with it. I think
Yeah.
everybody could be notified.
What's the fiscal year for the city?
July the 1st to June 30th.
This is just a very minor detail, with the fees, it looks like the fees for the non-residential, if you compare that to the residential, it kinda doubles each time, and it's kind of aligned, except for the last year of the non-residential, where it says each year thereafter is 1,500, that bumps up. Is there a reason for that? Is it just because it's, most of these buildings would be commercial buildings?
Most of
or-
those are commercial, yeah.
Okay.
And a little more encouragement.
Sure.
Is there any registration today for normal occupancy? Is there an easy way to get to the process of who owns the property?
We do, with all our zoning permits, and then typically to get a zoning permit on commercial properties, they have a fire marshal inspection, and they do the pre-plans, so, and I know the police department's reached out to a lot of them, so we do have an initial database to start from, at least on the commercial standpoint, and we do have some of the residential properties that are rentals. We do have record of those.
So you could gather key holder information then?
Yes. Yeah. And that's what they would have to have someone within 45 I believe 45
Yeah,
miles.
45 miles.
So that would, be the key holder.
Gotcha. And any of the fees that are received for violations, what does that money go for?
That'll go just to the general fund.
I'll second your motion, Chairman.
All in favor of it?
Aye.
Aye.
You know, we need to talk about the monthly, like I brought up 60 days. Going forward, would we need to vote on that also?
If you want to make I would
Yeah,
vote make a recommendation to council.
I think we need to make a recommendation to council, something like that. See, I mean, 60, 90, whatever y'all feels.
If it goes through the normal processes, what would be the time there's readings for council and such? If everything was to go without question, what's that time?
It would be 2 months.
2
So
months.
if it made it, which it'll make it to council, it'll be on this month's agenda. So this month and then probably next month,
So
that would be in November. So if it was,
that would be after the first of the year,
Yeah.
really.
I'd say February 1.
Yeah. I mean, that, this is, so it'll have to go to them twice. And then if you give a grace period, so we're October, it'll be February's meeting.
Yeah, so if you talk about putting it in the water bill, if it could go through 2 cycles of the
Right.
water bill going out.
Yeah, that would be equivalent.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
and we've gotten our, lack of a better word, our reverse 911 fixed now. So we could probably push that out as well. So, and that we could narrow that down just to inside the city limits.
Text document's already gone out, so you couldn't slide something into the text document right now.
Yeah, it's already went out, so we'll have to add it to the water bill.
Yeah.
So y'all think 60 days? We just need that in the form of a motion.
I make
Yes, sir.
a
So 60 days after the enactment of the ordinance. Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
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 That's all we have. All we need now is a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
Second.
Who seconded?
Taylor did. Or, I apologize, William. All righty, this meeting has been adjourned.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, man, we haven't been pledging allegiance and all that, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.